Thank you for being here. I'm so delighted to be here. I'm talking about a topic today. When people see the word self-reliance, they think selfish, that I'm teaching you how to be selfish. But what I'm here to do today is exactly the opposite. I'm here to give you the tools that you need to have to invest in yourself and own your future. So let me start by talking a little bit about, let's see if this works. I'm not sure it's going to work. My background. I am 100% Egyptian. I'm born and raised in Minnesota, but I'm a professional storyteller. I help people tell their stories and build their brands. I've worked with people like Gary Vee, Google, Netflix, Deepak Chopra, Jim Quick, Matt Higgins, and so much more. And the reason I'm here today is my mission is to help you communicate better. Storytelling is the one thing that will never go out of style. You will always need to know how to be a strong communicator, how to connect with audiences, and how to build your personal brand. And I'm here today to tell you, if you're not investing in your personal brand, today is your chance to understand how. So I've written this best-selling book called The 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. And it's a book that will inspire you, but it's also a playbook. It's a playbook to help you take these rules and put them to work. So let me start with what self-reliance is. It's giving you the tools to own your future. And it's giving you the ability to have confidence to trust yourself. The first rule of the book is called stay low, keep moving. And it's a military term where you're taught to crouch down and stay low to avoid getting hit by arsenal. But for me, this was a metaphor for life. How can you stay low and stay focused on your goals? There's so many distractions in this world today. You're distracted with social media, comparing yourself to other people, obligations from your family, obligations from work, and obligations from friends. If you are constantly sitting and fielding inquiries and needs of other people, you will never stay focused or stay low on what you care about. Keep moving, because you're going to have setbacks. There are going to be economic downturns. We're all going to have bad days. It just happens. How can you stay low and keep moving? Is the first rule of being self-reliant, because you know if you want to achieve your goals, you're going to need to stay low and keep moving. The second rule of the book is really what helped me build my career. I've been doing communications for 30 years for some of the biggest companies and brands in the world. And the reason I've been able to do it is I know how to create value for other people. So you may ask, what does it mean to be a value creator? How can you work with someone, anticipate their needs, solve their problems, and be someone they want to have you around? I am always starting with a very simple question. If you want to create value for somebody else, it starts with the simple question: how can I help? This is a picture of me with Matt Higgins. Matt Higgins is the second gentleman on the left. He wrote an incredible book called Burn the Boats about ditching Plan B so you go all in on Plan A. Matt Higgins is an investor, real estate mogul. He is a co-owner of the Miami Dolphins. Matt does business everywhere around the world. I lived half my life in the US, the other half in Egypt and in Dubai. And Matt does business everywhere around the world, but he said to me, Maha, I'm very curious about what could be done in the Middle East, specifically in Dubai. Well, that's where I can bring him value. I can educate him on the market. I can introduce him to people. I can build his personal brand there. I can help open doors for relationships for his companies. And so I told him, if you ever want to go to the Middle East, I'm happy to organize a visit for you. Mind you, this is something somebody would hire my company to do. But I did it for free. Why? Because I wanted to create value. I wanted to build a relationship. And if you can take the time to execute something for somebody else and bring value to them, that makes you valuable to them. And in the same token, when you create value for somebody, you ultimately create value for yourself. I got the experience, I got to spend time with him, I got to discuss business ideas with him, and now several years later, I'm on the board of a couple of companies that Matt's involved with. All because I wanted to create value, I wanted to be a long-term player, and I was able to execute. You too can be a value creator. This is a photo of Matt doing an interview on Virgin Radio when we went to Dubai. Rule number 3, don't be a waiter. When everyone reads my book, they tell me the number one thing that comes to mind is that this one gets them the most. We're often waiting for all of our ducks to be in a row. We're waiting for things to be perfect. We're waiting till we have more money in the bank account. We're waiting until we lose 10 pounds. We're waiting for permission from other people. We're waiting because we fear failure. We're waiting because we don't want people to judge us. My message to you is this: do not be a waiter. This is a photo of me. I do work for Gary Vee. I've been working with him on his communications for about almost 10 years. Next year will be 10 years. And I love sports. And I really wanted to go to the Super Bowl. Do you think Gary was going to wake up one day and say, hey, Maha, I want you to go to the Super Bowl and figure out what we can do? Instead of being a waiter and waiting for him to say, hey, I want you to go figure out how we can leverage media and press and events and all the things that happened at the Super Bowl, I didn't wait. I said, hey, we should go to the Super Bowl. Mind you, I've never been. I don't know how it works. I don't know how you get interviews or get credentials or build relationships or go to brand activations or meet CEOs, but I was willing to put in the hard work. And I said, I'm going to figure it out. And he said, go for it, figure it out. And then I had to go to work. This is a photo of Gary with Pat McAfee. Do you guys know who Pat McAfee is? ESPN, big show, doing an interview on the show. My point to you is really don't wait for opportunities to come to you. How can you find out how to go from being a waiter to being a creator? And you may say to yourself, Maha, I don't have the skills I need to create those opportunities. Well, then reverse engineer, what skills are you missing? You may say, I don't have the experience to do the things I want to do. Then I want you to take the time to find out, is it going to take you a year, 2, 3, think down the road. But don't be a waiter. Rule number 4, I want a raise of hands. How many people in the room are spending every week learning something new? Oh, I love it. Next time I come back, I want everyone raising their hands. Because the internet is for free. Podcasts are for free. YouTube videos are for free. There's no reason you can't invest in yourself and learn something today. People ask me, how can I be more self-reliant today than I was yesterday? Be curious. Learn something new. What are you doing every single day to invest in yourself? We are no longer competing with people that just live in our city. Remote working, hybrid working means we're competing with a lot more people than we did before. How do you give yourself that competitive edge? How do you train yourself in your free time on a Tuesday night or a Sunday morning? I'm not talking taking courses. I'm talking, can you spend 15 minutes listening to a podcast while you're out for a walk with your dog? Can you spend 10 minutes when you're sitting at the airport trying to learn something? And it can be anything. Pickleball, cooking, yoga, photography, AI tools, editing, languages. The more time you invest in yourself, the smarter you will become, and the more you'll open yourself up to opportunities. The reason I put unlearn and relearn here, because often we need to unlearn things that are no longer serving us. What are things we have to relearn? It used to be that where you went to school decided who you were going to become. That's no longer true. That's something we need to unlearn. Even when I go to look to hire for talent, I used to look at degrees and experience and where they worked. I don't look for those things anymore. I look for skills. I look for their empathy, their leadership. I look for their kindness. I look at, are they adaptable? Adaptability is the name of the game. Are you willing to pivot? Are you willing to learn? And are you adaptable? That's what I mean when I say unlearn and relearn. And I'd love all of you to think about today when you leave here, what can you do to invest in yourself? Oops, I don't know why that's messed up. This is the biggest chapter of the book, and the reason why I want to spend the most time here today is everybody, I want you to think of your reputation as a currency, like money, what's its worth and what's its value. A lot of people hear the term personal brand and they hate it. They're like, I'm not going to be a social media influencer. That's not who I am and that's not what I do. I want you to replace the term personal brand with the word reputation. And don't you care about your reputation? Your personal brand, your name, is the only thing you actually own. It can open doors for you. It can open relationships for you. It can bring you opportunities. And I want you to think about investing in your personal brand today. What does that look like? It means building a really strong profile on LinkedIn and being intentional for when people look you up, they see what you put on the internet, not what somebody else has posted. Building your personal brand offline is way more important than what you do on social. How do you treat your barista? How do you treat your colleagues? How do you treat your coworkers? That's your personal brand. For many of you who are in the audience who are entrepreneurs, you need to build your personal brand because you know this fact very well. People follow people. They don't follow companies. If you are an entrepreneur and you invest in your personal brand, that's what will help you get partnerships. It'll help you get employees. It'll help you recruit and retain talent. But most importantly, if you need an investor, they're going to want to know the founder's story. Investors invest in people. They don't invest in the idea of the company. They want to know the founder has grit and resilience and passion for the idea, no matter what happens in any economic situation. And if you work at a company, you definitely need to be building your personal brand. Are you a team player? Are you a collaborator? Are you a good listener? Are you a go-getter? Are you a hard worker? That's your personal brand at work. And I want you to think about investing it, owning it, and growing it, and the time to start was yesterday. Rule number 6, be a long-term player. This is all about building relationships and networking. How many of you are comfortable networking? It's hard. It's hard to walk into a room and introduce yourself. It's hard to build relationships, especially if we are in a remote environment like a Zoom or a Microsoft Teams. How do you build relationships with people that you work with on the screen? How do you master the art of a DM? I give you the playbook on how to do this, from taking a DM into an email into a meeting. The bread and butter of business is relationships. The more relationships you have, the more opportunities you have. The more opportunities you have, the more money you can make. I want you to get really good and rely on yourself to know how to build relationships. The reason why this is a rule in a book about self-reliance, I can't say to my friend, oh, George, those relationships you spent 10 years building up, can I borrow those? I want everyone in this room to know how to build a good relationship. Your network is not there to serve you. The truth is, you need to serve your network. You need to bring value to them. You need to not be a waiter and have a really strong personal brand where they want to be around you and bring you into their network. That's when you know you've won. Building relationships is one of the most important things for your personal brand. The last rule of the book is about living with no regrets. And the reason why I wanted to end on this note and this rule was a lot of times everyone in this room, including myself, has had things happen to them in their lives that hasn't been easy. Facing setbacks, facing very difficult times in your life. I know my mother had MS when I was 14. She had multiple sclerosis. And then my father got ALS and Lou Gehrig's disease. And both of my parents had very traumatic medical issues and illnesses and neurological diseases that were crippling and really just devastating diseases. And I thought to myself, am I going to spend my whole life just being a caretaker, even though it's one of the most honorable things I ever did in my life? But I didn't want to live with regrets. Who am I? What am I going to become? How am I going to contribute to this world? What is my value? Because life is short, and opportunities to do what you want to do are something you need to stand up for. No one's going to put you at the top of your priority list like you can. How can you turn the struggles that you face into comebacks? And how can you take the things that are happening to you not define you? I always used to ask myself this question: if not me, who? And if not now, when? I'm like, why do other people get to do these things and not me? Why do other people get those opportunities and not me? And the difference comes down to effort. Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to put in the work? We all have access to the same information now. The game is completely changed. So when I talk to you a little bit about building your self-reliance and investing in yourself and owning your future, I want you to think of this statement, and I want you to take action today. If not me, who? And if not now, when? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening.